If only if I had the Unit 3, they would look all great together. And the Unit 3 is finally here. How's it going, guys? It's Plastic Disasta, and today I'm going to do the review of the HG Universal Century Blue Destiny Unit 3. Now, I've already talked about the synopsis of the Blue Destiny side story. Check out the Unit 1 review for more information about that. Now, you know I never played the game or read the manga, but what I do know is that this is the protagonist's second mobile suit to fight the Unit 2. And speaking of the Unit 2, well, take a look at the box art. We have the Unit 3 with the bluish, greenish aura glowing around him, and then you have the Unit 2 going after Unit 3, even though Unit 3 is facing the wrong way. Take a look at this side of the box. We have the rear and front shot of the model kit. Right over here, it just shows off the action poses. And moving on to the right, you can have the exam mode or the standard mode. Now keep in mind you only have one head, so you have to pick one. Of course, it shows off the marking stickers and the weapon layout. Moving on to this side of the box shows the information or the backstory of the Unit 3, and right over here is an advertisement of Unit 1 and Unit 2. So cracking open the box, we are greeted with 4 bags of runners and a manual. Look at the cover of the manual. Here is the kit snapped together and all painted up. Taking a look at the parts list, looks like we have a few leftover parts. Looking at the back of the manual, we have more information about the MS. If you want to pause and read it, feel free to do so. Right here, we have the marking placement of the stickers. Moving further down, we already saw this, and a color guide if you want to paint this. Starting off with runner A1, it's going to be a multicolored runner. We got the white parts, the yellow parts, and the navy blue parts. Runner A2 is going to be the navy blue parts, and now I know what you're wondering. Well, why is there a white piece in the middle of the runner? So bear with me here. I guess it has something to do like the way how they mold these runners in plastic, and also has something to do with the Unit 1 and Unit 2. That's my best guess. If you can think of something better, let me know in the comments down below. And that also explains these multicolor injections, you want to call it that. Runner B1 is going to be another multicolored runner. You got the white parts, the red, the gray, and the clear green if you want to build it as a standard mode. And you have runner B2, which is a copy of this section, but the only difference is you have the clear red if you want to do the exam mode. Runner C1 is going to be the dark gray parts. You got parts for the joints, the hand parts, and the gun. And you also have runner C2, which is a copy of this section. Runner D is going to be the white parts. Runner E is going to be more dark gray parts. Small polycap runner, beam saber effect parts. Finally, you got the color correcting stickers and the marking stickers. Alright, that's about it for the unboxing. Now, I know it's going to be similar to the Unit 1 and Unit 2 if we're talking about the build, because if you haven't noticed, they kind of have the same body. The question is, will I get sick of it? We'll see after the build. And here's the Unit 3 all put together. And as for building experience, from the shoulder all the way down to the feet, yes, it's just like building the Unit 1, but the only difference is the head, and you're adding another layer of the backpack. What I forgot to tell you on the Unit 1 review is that if you look closely right under there, when you put the ball joint in, it makes a bit of a stress mark. So for those who want to give this kit a complete paint job, I highly recommend you guys to be cautious. Now, as for seam lines, since it is pretty much the same kit as the Unit 1, check out that review for where the seam lines are at. But for this one, I'm going to tell you where the new seam lines are located. We got one that's going up and down on the head, and we have another one that's going to be on the backpack. Well, 2 of them are on the backpack. We got one going up and down right here, and we have another tricky one right here. As for sticker placement, 1 or 3 is going to go onto the forehead, and you have 6 or 7 that's going to go on the eyes, but I went with the red clear piece. 2 or 4 is going to go onto the back of the head. 10 and 11 is going to wrap around this part of the backpack. Pay attention which side it goes on. And as for the number 13 stickers, it's going to go inside the vents. The number 8 sticker is going to go onto the chest. And while the number 9 stickers, 2 of them are going to go onto the knees, and 1 is going to go onto the rear skirt right here. And maybe it's better off if I take out the backpack so you can have a better visual of where that small triangle is. And finally, the number 12 sticker is going to go onto the front skirts, one on each side. And how could I forget? The number 5 sticker is going to go onto the beam rifle right here. So that's going to be it for the outer products presentation. Now I know there's not much to say because I did say that it's pretty much the same kit as the Unit 1 I already reviewed. So I'm going to work on this kit and I'll see you guys right after that. And after you put some effort in, here is the Unit 3 is going to look like. Now I didn't use the dark blue for the front skirts, instead I used silver. I thought it looks a little cool in my opinion because it pops out more. And another spot where I painted silver is this piece right there. Now throughout the review I won't go over the articulation and the gimmicks because it's similar to the Unit 1, so go check that out. Now before I get to the accessories, let's go over the extra parts you get. First off, you get almost the full shield. When I meant almost, it's missing the outer layer. At least it still has the same functions, like you can make it as a jabbing weapon or you can have it stand on the ground. Next up, you have an extra set of hands. Now if you don't like the round fingertips that the Unit 3 comes with, there's always the flat fingertips. You have the green eyes if you want to make it normal mode. If you don't like that little red piece right down there, there's always the yellow one. And you have these little thrusters that goes onto the first layer of the backpack, not the second one. If you guys saw my Unit 1 review or you already have the Unit 1 kit, you already know what these thrusters do, and it's also mentioned in the manual as well. But I'm gonna display this backpack like this. And speaking of the backpack, notice how I paint the thrusters red. Now, I went to the Gundam Wiki to look at the Unit 3 and get this. Instead of the red inside the thrusters, it's yellow. But in the manual, it's red. I mean, it's your kit. You can do whatever you want with it. So now moving on to the accessories, starting off with the familiar ones. Of course, I already showed you the open palm hand and the little machine gun. Of course, the stock can move back and you have a secondary handle that folds out and a little magazine that can be removable, and you have spare ones that are stored on the side skirts. Moving on to the new ones, you have the beam rifle and you have a secondary handle that can move side to side. Next up, you have its shield. You can store it on either arm, and this little peg right here can rotate. And my favorite one is the double barrel beam gun. I have to say, this one is really impressive. Now, first off, the camera moves side to side, of course, and get this, notice that there is another peg down there. That's because if you remove this part, you can store it right down here. Now, if you have both of these, you can have it dual wield these guns. And to attach it, see this peg, it can go on either arm. That's why I mentioned that you can dual wield these guns if you have another Unit 3 kit. And that is how it looks. Now notice that there are 2 holes right there. You could attach the shield on to the gun. Plug it on either one of the holes, and this is how it looks. And damn, it makes me want to go get another one. Oh yeah, there's also beam saber effect parts for the familiar accessories. You guys seen the Blue Desta Unit 1, you know where the beam saber handles are stored. And in case you guys don't know, well bam, here it is. You can pull up the beam saber, store in the hand, put the beam saber effect part, and have fun with it. Size comparisons, here it is right next to the standard size RX-78-2. Now, height wise, of course, they're both the same, and you can see how much bulk this mobile suit has compared to the RX-78-2. Up next, here is Unit 3, right next to Unit 1 and Unit 2. Now, just a heads up, the gun and the sword for Unit 2 is not part of the kit. I just want to do a little customization. Other than that, I'm glad I have the Unit 3 to complete this set. And finally, here is Unit 3 right next to Godzilla and Optimus Prime. So that's going to be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so for my final thoughts, overall, it's a really great kit. You got all these cool accessories. You have a kit with great articulation and color separation. And as a cherry on top, really great engineering. Like, what more could you ask for? You know I'm gonna say it, I highly recommend this kit. Now, before you start buying this kit, just a heads up, there is an old HGUC of this kit. To tell which one is which, well, just look at the bottom left corner on the box art. It'll tell you what year it came out. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up the review right here. I wanna say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, you wanna see more content, of course, you can subscribe to see more. If you have any questions, concerns, comment down below. Leave a like as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. For those who want to see the Unit 3 with the exam mode gimmicks, well, here it is. Really not much, but if you pay attention, the only things that changed is the shoulders and the legs. That's pretty much it.